A little bit louder. Taking it all the way. Yeah, I'll start early. You're listening to Truth of the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at Radio City. 833-212-1017 is the number. All right, so I was doing some observing today. It's been a crazy day. I've been busy all day. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning, up and out at 6 a.m. this morning, getting stuff done, writing, grading, reading, all sorts of things. I was listening to an audiobook. Now, this is the same audiobook I've been listening to for like a week because it's like a 15-hour audiobook. And it talks about Black people, right? And I'm not going to tell you because all things being fair, I hope to have the author on the airwaves in the coming months. So I'm not going to say. I'll let you know when I'm going to once it's confirmed. And then you can start reading the book and listening to the book. And then you can call in and all that stuff when I have the author on. But something I heard in conversation with someone else who's kind of like a muse, you know, I talk to this person all the time and kick around stuff and talk about, hey, this is what I'm thinking about talking about today, right? And there was an observation made that I hadn't thought about, and it's kind of in line with what we were talking about the other day with drugs and fentanyl and the suburbs and all that stuff, right? Black people have to change the narrative about themselves because we're only 14% of the population, and many of the things that occur in our community do not occur at the actual numbers that they occur in the white community. And we keep having this thing that, oh, they're poor Black people. There can't be poor Black people. We're only 14% of the population. If everybody else was Black, there'd still be more poor white people. And so when we add up the percentage, right, the percentage is bigger based on the, I don't know how many Black people are here, 42 million, something like that. I'm at awe of how quickly we accept negative things about us. No question, no thinking, no trying to figure out if it's correct. We just accept it because we trust the source, the CNN, the MSNBC, whoever tells us, right? But if you think back, everything America has declared a war on has increased. Think about it. We're going to fight this. We're going to stop this. Vietnam. Got your tail whooped. War has increased since then. What about homelessness, right? We talk about we're going to fight homelessness. We're going to put up feeding this and feeding that and feeding this and feeding that. And we ended up creating such a bad way for people. And I'll talk about some of the things we did to correct some of these issues. Homelessness is one. I think we got more homeless people today than we've had ever in our country. Sorry about that. I have to drink some hot chocolate. I have some hot chocolate every day. By the way, warm drinks, hot chocolate, coffee are my comfort food. Like other people eat when they get stressed, I drink coffee. I drink hot chocolate. I'm just saying. So if you know of any really good hot chocolate, holler at a brother. Homelessness, but then there's poverty. Poverty is as high as it's ever been. But yet we pretend like Black people are the ones living in poverty, when in fact there are more white people in poverty than there are Black people. And one of the callers talked about it the other day. I'm not going to call them what he called them. But there's more poverty today. One of the reasons we have poverty is because of what? Social programs from the government. And so when we created welfare, they talked about the fact that you're going to create something that's going to cause more poverty today than it did in order to fight. So we've been having this war on poverty, and there are more people in poverty today than before. Here's why I think. Back in the day, late 1800s, early 1900s, right, we had benevolent groups. We had fraternities, sororities, Order of the This, Association and Society of that, along with NAACP, Urban League, and all this, and startup insurance companies that were all Black. We took care of us. And when we took care of us, we did it the way they do it in some Jewish communities. We have a fund, and if you lose your job and you're looking for a job and you fall on dire straits or a spouse gets sick and somebody can't work, we undergird you. We take care of you until you get back on your feet. It's kind of simple, but it works. When we removed that and the government took over, it was just a black hole. What do we spend for welfare? Trillions of dollars? And you're still, and I'm not talking about the help we give people. I'm not talking about the assistance people should actually be able to get because they need help. I just think who they get it from dictates how long you stay in it. If the government gives you the help, and we have never found a government program that paid us money we didn't like, it stayed. But when the private community does that, when the private sector supports you, they tend to be able to be a little more loving, a little more giving, but a little more firm to make sure that you get up off your feet, help you have the tenacity and the fight. It's tough, but they do it. But then what about crime? We've had a war on crime since, I don't know, Cain slew Abel. And look at us. We're still fighting crime. But yesterday I had a thought about drugs. And that's what led me to believe that everything we declare a war on has increased in Milwaukee, in America and Milwaukee. We had a war on driving, increased. War on homicide, increased. What are we doing? I think Emmett said it yesterday. It used to be illegal to have fentanyl strips. Now it's legal to have a fentanyl strip so you can check fentanyl in your drugs. Why are we helping you check fentanyl in your drugs? Why don't you just stop using drugs? Let's take the money that we're using to buy fentanyl strips and let's kind of, put the person in rehab. Give them some training. Give them some help. But we don't do that. Why? Because everything we declare a war on in Milwaukee, in America, has won. Homelessness, poverty, crime, and drugs. But I think we missed something. And I really hate to break it to you. But we really have a war on drugs. It's present in America. We have a war on drugs. And you know what? Drugs won.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.